Hi, good evening. My name is Tracy Hunt, and I'm a psychotherapist. And the topic tonight is when a family member ignores you. And I know that last week I talked about when a close narcissistic family member ignores you, but I just have more to share, and it's such a huge topic. I just want to expound on it and give you more coping tips. So, when a family member ignores you, it can make you question yourself and wonder if you're at fault. It can cause a lot of emotional distress and pain and depression, anxiety. It can even lead to PTSD because it really is trauma. It can be very traumatic, and even people develop eating disorders from it because it's like I have no control over my family member not talking to me, but or their emotional abuse towards me, but I can control my eating. And people tend to obsess over it. They feel invalidated. They feel hurt, angry, confused. And so it is a serious issue that people don't talk about a lot. The more important the relationship is to you, or the closer the person is supposed to be to you, the bigger impact it has on you. Silent treatment, we call that in marital therapy, we call it stonewalling you. So why do people ignore you? Like, why would they do that when it's so painful? Well, mainly just like that, it's to cause you pain and to hurt you. It's a kind of passive aggressive way of letting you know that, I don't like you. I don't like what you've done to me, as in terms of an aggressive way, which would be to yell at you or scream at you or hit you. And it's also kind of covert, like maybe, a son is angry at his mom, but he doesn't want his dad to know. So he can greet her at the door, give her a hug, but give her that silent treatment through the whole evening or the whole dinner. And she's the main one who feels the impact where the other family members might not notice. Um, it's a way to avoid caring for someone, showing respect or value for that person. The perpetrator, he or she can see the pain that it's causing you. They can see that it's causing you distress and depression. They can see that you're working hard to win them over or try to talk to them. And, that creates a power dynamic where they have the upper hand. So, how do you deal with it? First of all, don't react. Don't react and be mean to them the way they're being mean to you. You might think, well, it's only fair to be mean to them. They're being very mean to me. And don't gossip about them, and don't show your anger or sadness, because it's kind of a vicious cycle that they derive power from that. So that when you do that, you're going to get more of it, not less, what you want. Try to calm yourself, center yourself, take a deep breath, and don't try to mind read the perpetrator or obsess about why it's happening. Like if you find yourself up at night worrying about it, um, don't do that, because you don't deserve that mental distress. Now, if you know the cause of why they're mad at you, then address it immediately. Say, even if you don't think what you did was wrong, because obviously they do. And take some ownership. If you can't take ownership for the entire problem, take ownership for a part of the problem. And if you don't know why they're doing it to you, don't give the silent treatment back. You could be quiet until you figure out what's going on, but don't give the silent treatment back. Be the first to say you're sorry and reach out. Like I was at the gym the other day, and I was in my kickboxing class, and this girl comes up to me and she's like introducing herself to me, and we were talking about how much fun kickboxing is. It is a lot of fun, by the way. And she went away, and then she came back to me, and she goes, are you going to stand right there? And I kind of like looked around. I didn't know. I'm like, yes. And not knowing that I stood on a landmine, because she got mad and grabbed her purse and belongings and went across the other side of the gym and worked out over there, and it was just obvious that I gave the wrong answer. So about a week later, I go into my weightlifting class, running in late, and set up my weights. And I didn't realize I set up my weights right next to her. And so I was trying to catch her attention so I could say hi, and she wouldn't look at me. And it was like seething hostility coming from her direction. And so at the end of the class, I thought, I could just leave this alone. This person's a stranger. They mean nothing to me. Or I can just fix this situation. Or try to fix it. So I went up to her and I said, what's your name again? And did I do something to offend you? And she was like, oh no, honey, it wasn't you. Don't worry about it. I just like to have my own space. I don't like to be crowded. And I was like, oh, okay. So I've taken note of that for the future. And I'm just glad I cleared the air with you. And, I see her at the gym all the time now. She smiles, she probably feels some, who knows, don't mind read. That's one of the things you should do. And with all your family, do not mind read. That's something I'm working on. I don't know how she feels, but she's polite to me now. And I prefer like places that I frequent, like church or the gym, not to have a whole bunch of people that, like little slights and stuff add up to a lot of people who don't like you. I mean, people just decide they don't like you for like one little thing, and it's like so unimportant. I try not to do that. Like I want to have, as much as possible peace wherever I go. So that was a stranger, which is not anywhere near as loaded or as important as your family member. And so I recognize that, whether I talked to that woman at the gym or not was, up to me. But, as a family member, you're going to see them over and over again. It's way more important. But if you have done everything you can, you've talked to the person, and they still give you the silent treatment, then I just want you to accept that that's their decision and let it go and not focus on them. That's kind of, once you've done the right thing, it's kind of out of your sphere of control, and you give them over to God, and have peace and don't obsess over it anymore. Every time you think about it, think a positive thought about them and move on. You have control over your brain. Do not let your brain have control over you, and do not let another person have control over your brain either. And I know that takes work. It's like building up muscles, but start practicing so that you can get mentally and emotionally stronger. And so that's it for tonight. And please leave comments and like, share, subscribe if you like this content. And I'll be looking forward to talking to you soon. Have a good night.